Sure.
Are you currently using AI in any aspect of your business?
So as any small business owner, which I think is, or business owner in general, if you're not thinking about AI, then you have a bigger problem. AI is coming and it's really interesting. So I probably spend at least, I want to say half an hour a day looking into different AI tools or trying AI tools. So little things. And I think that there's so much of the little things that you mentioned, the details that we've done at Replay, from our website to our social media, to the content that we're creating, to our staffing. So we use AI in almost everyone, and I look forward to using it more and more to become more efficient.
What made you decide to sort of say, okay, we've got paddle, we've got pickle, let's expand this a little bit? Gym, fitness, health, wellness. So talk to me a little bit about these other sort of dynamics to your I guess your community really is what you've built.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as we said, your lifestyle. I think for me, there's a saying a lot of entrepreneurs build for themselves, and I think to a degree I did. Yet I feel like there's a lot of people like me. I mean, I say like me. I recently got married. I like to live a healthier lifestyle. I moved down here from New York City. My lifestyle no longer revolves around drinking. Now it's about health. I want to be able to hang out with my friends, and I also have a family that I want to go home to and I want to spend time with. So where am I going to meet my friends? I'm not going to meet them at the bar. I found a lot of the other members clubs, at least in Miami, became kind of like singles joints. And I felt like there was a void. Once again, coming from New York City and having places like Soho House and these places that we used to hang and really enjoy just sitting around, that weren't necessarily involved around alcohol was interesting. So when we go and tour there later, I think you'll be impressed to see that we have this really chic kind of area that you can hang and has this really beautiful energy to it. Yet it's in an environment where you feel super welcome. Yet you feel like you're part of a community, and you also don't feel pressure to have a drink. And then that, along with the fact that what I started noticing when I joined initial paddle clubs is I would go play paddle and I'm like, crap, I still want to get to the gym, but that's another place. And we're all busy. We don't want to go to 3 places anymore. And I just figured there needs to be a place. So now at Replay, as you mentioned, you can go to the gym. We call it a life and replay day. You start in the gym, you play a game, you meet your buddies after, you play a game of paddle. After you're done, you go to a sauna, you do a cold plunge, you go up, maybe get a coffee, you hang out, you co-work from the mezzanine. Around 5 o'clock, you go jump in a yoga class, and you've literally had one of the best days you could ever have. Yet it's all around this new modern lifestyle that we all enjoy.
That's amazing. So do you have a client base that will just use the gym, or they'll just play pickle, or they'll just play paddle, or maybe they use the spa, or they go to just maybe work in the workspace? Have you noticed all dynamics?
Absolutely. I mean, we have members that, I kid you not, they show up at 7 a.m. and a lot of them leave at 7 p.m. That's pretty common. Our average member spends about 3.5 hours at the club.
Wow. Pretty
Pretty incredible. Compared to a normal kind of gym, you're probably there for 45 minutes to an hour. So we definitely people are enjoying the facility. And then we also have members that we have a gym and spa only membership. We have a paddle membership. We have a pickle membership. So yeah, we kind of have a little bit of for everyone.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And how often is just the gym being used? Does anyone just use the gym, or do you find a dynamic with? Absolutely.
I mean, our gym. I mean, when we say we also have a gym, I feel like in a lot of clubs, it's like an asterisk. It's like a hotel gym. Oh yeah, we have a gym, and you go in, it's like a Peloton and a treadmill, with a couple of weights. We have a 7,000 square foot gym, fully decked out with pretty much every piece of machinery you want. We also are doing, I think, almost 40 to 50 fitness classes every week, where we have group fitness training, we have yoga classes, we have TRX training, we have pickleball specific training. And then we also have a full spa. We have a full 15-person sauna, a 15-person steam room. We have 2 wonderful cold plunges. We have a meditation room. We have a red light room.
Wow.
We even now actually are just launching our we have a partnership with a stem cell facility. So we really want to kind of be that go-to for your health and wellness and community.
It's totally becoming a wellness sort of environment.
Yeah.
Have you seen many professional, what is the professional world? How has their response been to your facility?
Yeah. So when you say professional, I'll answer that in 2 ways. One is we're very lucky. We have the best pickleball players in the world are members. Literally just the other day, I played paddle, funny enough, with the top 3 pickleball, like top 10 pickleball players in the world. And we're just enjoying it, having fun, playing paddle and going up in the mezzanine and, hanging out after and actually getting to hang, which was cool. And then we very much tap into the professional world. Right before I came here, I stopped in out of a conversation. Guy's a pretty big insurance brokerage. He has 2 offices, one in kind of, I think, Wellington and one in Fort Lauderdale. And this is his in between. He comes to the gym and he works from ours 2 or 3 times a week. And that's pretty common. So we've also tapped into that professional world that after we look at this, they look forward to their Monday league night. They look forward to we call it a thing called Nacho Tuesdays and Tuesdays, or they look forward to their Wednesday advanced paddle. So it's become very much part of their their lives from a professional perspective as well.
So you're running tournaments, you're coaching, you're doing it all there right now.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned, as you know, I have 2 young girls. You mentioned you're also doing a ton of stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
So what kind of kids programs are you doing now or you're going to have? Because in my world, and soon to be in your world, everything we do revolves around the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have my daughter's birthday party at your place. So it's great. And you have the facility. So what are you planning on? What are you doing now? And what are you planning on doing for the youth sports? And
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost overwhelming the amount of stuff we do, but we do have something for everyone. So it's we really, in order to build community, I'm a big believer you need really thoughtful programming, and I think that extends across the spectrum. Right? Someone asked me earlier, "What's your target range?" And what's crazy is we have literally kids that are 4 to 6 that are coming for lessons to 85 years old, right? And enjoying the facilities and playing as well. So, which is pretty cool. In terms of programming, we do have kids camps. So we have a kids camp this summer. It's I think it's 7 or 8 hour kids camp. It's a little bit of pickle, a little bit of paddle, a little multi-sport, a little dodgeball. We make it fun. And again, I think because the facilities is so large, we've been super thoughtful on what that looks like. And then on top of that, now we also have shorter kids programming where you can kind of drop your child off, have them enjoy a pickle or paddle lesson while the adult goes and either enjoys the cafe upstairs and gets to have a little piece, or goes to the gym, or goes and takes a clinic themselves. So we're really trying to be a little of something for everyone, while also being specific to the kind of the sports that we're catering to.
Yeah. I noticed the whole complex has sort of a certain aesthetic. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. It's something I've never seen before. What was the inspiration behind that? And how did you go about doing that? I mean, as an entrepreneur, it's okay, I want to do this. How'd you actually do it? I mean, this to me seems like it's so out of my world, even though I'm in real estate and I'm very familiar with development. This is the concept, the development, the business part, the membership. So as far as putting that vision together, did you use a certain architect? How did you come up with that look, that feel, that touch for your facility?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, thank you so much for saying that. Again, I'm going to go back and use the same thing I said before. A lot of it was partially by accident. We were pretty unlucky with many of the things along the way. From we had a lot of permitting and GC things, again, as we kind of joke around before, everyone kind of deals with. On the designer front, we were really lucky. We had someone who was amazing. Yet there was a lot of like gaps. And when you're trying to open a facility, a 75,000 square facility, and trying to open it in 4 to 6 months, it takes a lot of brute force. And it's like a lot of times you'll get the chairs and the coffee table, but you don't get the carpet, or you get the carpet and the chair, but you don't get the coffee table. And it'll be funny when we go around, people are like, oh my God, everything looks so beautiful. And by the way, a lot of it is very beautiful and very nice. And a lot of it is like Wayfair and Amazon specials, just like, choosing ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of the aesthetic, we wanted it to feel, I mean, we're in Palm Beach. So it's an homage a little bit to this Palm Beach kind of, that aesthetic. There's a famous artist called Slim Aarons. Slim Aarons was a famous photographer that specifically was in Palm Beach and kind of the Palm Desert. And he created a view into like how the elite lived. And when you go around the space, you're going to notice almost all the art is a Slim Aarons piece. And what was really cool about what we wanted to create, we wanted to give that feel of like stepping into this like high society, yet making it super accessible. And that was part of that vision. And hopefully when you walk around, it almost feels like you're in this Slim Aarons painting. And that was the goal that we were trading. And I was lucky enough to work with a great designer and a great team, and then, be able to, have enough people around me where we're able to piece in the rest to kind of give it that aesthetic.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, everything seems symmetrical. It seems well thought out. Even the glass, around the cages essentially are just absolutely incredible. By the way, can you say one more time how many square feet?
Yeah, so it's 75,000 square feet. So it's two buildings. So it's 25,000 square feet on the pickleball side, about 50,000 square feet on the paddle side. And by the way, they're shared kind of amenities and things, yet we kind of have two different buildings.
That just sounds scary and insane at the same time.
Why didn't you tell me this? I actually don't know. And I joke around that my brother and I, when we were sitting in a room, we're like, we should do this. I don't think we realized how big it was. I will also say that it used to be our auto parts warehouse. So it was, like, when I say disgusting is an understatement.
Yeah.
Like, we took this pretty disgusting place filled with racks, and when you go through it now, it looks like a gorgeous modern country club.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is I think one of the issues with so many of these clubs or country clubs or what have you is the space. You don't have the space. So everywhere you go, it's not quite big enough. The gym's small, the spa's tiny. There aren't that many courts. It usually, in most cases, is sort of an afterthought. I mean, I think having this space is what truly sets you apart, along with everything else you've done. But having this space to breathe and to relax, I think is totally part of your vibe. I mean, I think it's super unique that you don't feel crowded. You're not claustrophobic. It's a beautiful open space. I mean, I think that plays a huge role.
And the feedback we've gotten is amazing. I mean, hopefully, when we do the tour later or for first timers and they walk in, it's almost this overwhelming feel. You walk into this room and you're like, whoa. And even, a lot of times people are like, oh, wow, that's the gym. And then we get closer, like, wow, I didn't realize how big it is, because it really is that expansive. So I think that we were lucky kind of having that space. I think it was definitely an ambitious project, maybe a little more ambitious than we realized. But I guess that was part of the reason why we were able to do it, is that we didn't know how difficult it was going to be. Yet I feel pretty lucky that the outcome, was, we couldn't have wanted anything more, and definitely didn't realize it was going to be to that extent. And then the last piece you mentioned, a lot of times it is an afterthought. And for me, as I mentioned quickly, I'm a software guy, but more specifically a software as a service guy, which means recurring revenue, right? You want people showing up, and how do you create that value? And one of the things that was really important to me, or at least what I had seen from other clubs, was that they were very much like, hey, you pay this membership fee, and for this membership fee, we'll give you a little bit of a discount, and we'll let you book earlier. And that was kind of it. And I was like, wait a minute, like we want to add more value. Like, what if, and how do we do that? Well, we add more value by creating real amenities, not afterthought amenities. A real gym, right? A real spa, a real members lounge, a real yoga studio. And it shows. And when you go there, it feels like we can literally took 7 businesses and we threw them all into one warehouse essentially. And I believe that creates a lot of value for our members.